Hi, I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Good morning and welcome to the challenge. As always, first and foremost, I'd like to thank God for another opportunity and thank you, the viewers, for tuning in. We're starting this season's challenge off with a very, very special guest. We'd like to add perspective, if you will, to the challenge. We've asked that someone who I feel is very unique in her own right to come and be a regular contributor to the show. She is, in my opinion, a woman who has lots of grace, lots of insight, and has a compassion for her community and for people that is next to none. I frankly am happy that she has consented to be a part of the challenge, and I want to introduce her this morning to you, the viewers. Her name is Nancy Baptista. Nancy, welcome to the challenge.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, the pleasure is all ours. You and I have had a number of conversations already about things just in general. But I think that your perspective, frankly, is a refreshing one, and it's one that is, I think, necessary, and I think it's one that will add a lot to the conversations that happen here on the challenge. You happen to represent a demographic, a younger lady who, professional person who is growing up in a world and in an environment that is constantly changing. And I can't help but wonder what you think about on a daily basis, what kinds of things impact you, your life, and your friends, and who impacts your life, what kinds of decisions are things that you think about on a regular basis. So you'll add that to the challenge, but let's start somewhere where I think, at least in my mind, I think most viewers would want to know. A young lady who is growing up in a place called Hartford, Connecticut, where there is unfortunately a significant amount of crime, at least that's reported, a significant amount of poverty, but yet and still you have really good schools like the University of Hartford, and you have schools like Trinity College within the mix. What are your thoughts? What do you think about when you think about where you live?
It's very easy to say and to keep a positive attitude with everything that's going on, daily struggles, every day, wake up, you think about how the day's going to go, what's going to happen, what's going to be my reaction, and it's hard to keep a positive attitude when you have all these negativity and all these hard struggles financially for colleges and stuff. And it's hard for us students to maintain ourselves with school and work if we are working while we're students in school. But there are daily struggles. You just have to keep a positive attitude and keep your faith, and if you really want something, you have to fail. You have to go to struggle. negative stuff is going to happen. You're going to have negative thoughts. But as long as you keep your faith and you want what you want, you will go and strive and do what you have to do to get what you want.
Now, is that a conversation that you have amongst your peers, or is that something you've embraced as a part of growing up in your home?
It's been both. I've had to pray. I've had to speak to other people and to get insight and to help me. It's a battle. It's hard. It's through my peers too, and I do also know acquaintances that's going through the same struggle. Some are going through more than me and stuff like that. But as we have to stick together. And there's a lot of us, like for me, I was very limited knowledge with school. So certain things I did fail, and I should have been knowledgeable, and counselors should have told me, and I should have went out myself and tried to get advice and look for other help. But it's hard. People are not very helpful. They're not very, they're very to themselves. Not that many people to help each other. So we have to go out on our own and start from the bottom and up.
So the relationships that you would have hoped that would have been there for you to help you to understand certain circumstances and certain situations, they weren't really there. It sounds like that you may have thought that in some respects that other folks didn't have time to hear what you were going through.
Yes.
Okay.
It's more of a majority to minority. Like I was struggling in school at one point, and I had a teacher that said he would help me.
Right.
But as soon as the whole class was involved and he wanted to know how everyone felt, it was like, okay, majority said this, so sorry, Nancy, I couldn't really help you. I didn't have time because I had to go with the majority. But the majority is doing good.
Right.
They don't need the help.
Right.
I do. So I get, in the back burner which happens to a lot of us. A lot of us are looked down or, oh, well, these people seem like they're going to succeed more, so I'm going to focus more on them instead of the people that's more in need. And that's what's wrong now these days.
Wow.
People help people who are more knowledgeable or have more money or more options, to get things other than us people who are less limited, but we're the ones that need the help.
That is so interesting that you would say that. There is, a lot of folks who don't want to admit that they're neglecting those who are less fortunate and have less, if you will, of an understanding and less of an ability. Those folks are in some places considered throwaways, if you will, or casualties to the system. They're going to wind up wherever they wind up at, either in prison or selling drugs or some kind of place where unfortunately, because they don't have the same skills and the same abilities as those who they consider to be talented have,
or more qualified.
Yeah. It's interesting. There's a debate now in education between charter schools and public schools, and the charter schools are considered cherry pickers, they call them, because they're just looking for the very best and the very brightest students, so they can show that they have the ability to achieve these results that people can achieve in public school, but because they have the best students, it's easier to achieve. So what happens to those kids who don't have the same abilities is where you and I are at. And what do we do with those kids, and what happens to their lives? And it sounds like to me that in spite of that we have to still do what we do to make certain that others aren't neglected.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why at one point I got very cold-hearted, I felt like an outcast and cornered, because I felt that's exactly how I felt. Like I had nobody on my side, nobody was willing to help me. I tried all my wits. So it's hard, but you gotta you got to look at it at the other side and say, you know what, this should make me want to even more because these people are not willing to help me because I don't have the car, or I don't have the transportation to get me there, or, you know, the quality I have is not qualified. I'm not qualified enough. But that's why I need the help. So I can be qualified enough so I can do that. So it's hard.
So you use that as your own personal motivation.
Yes.
It sounds like. And that's what a person who is being neglected has to do. It's interesting, again, because I just ran into a guy on my way to the show this morning who talked about even being neglected by his own family. And I'm glad to know that you at least have, you know, somebody, you know, in your family, or obviously your church, because it sounds like, you know, you have, you know, decided that church will be your foundation, and those people are supportive. That those are the support systems that you have that are helping you, you know, to navigate through life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I know that you have a variety of topics that you want to bring to the challenge.
Yes,
and that is a very, very good one. And I think we have to spend a lot of time, you know, trying to figure out how to deal with that. You know, the show is called The Challenge because we realize that life is a challenge.
Yes.
And frankly, what we're trying to do here is to really talk about some of the solutions to those problems.
Yes.
You know, we realize that there are some folks who are reluctant to even acknowledge the fact that those problems exist and don't want to. But my hope is that, Nancy, your voice will speak for hundreds, if not thousands of others, and the situations that they are faced with on a daily basis. You guys are the future.
Yes.
You know, and I know you hear that, and you wonder if people really are sincere about, you know, when they make that statement, because when they say the future, then that to me means that that they ought to want what's best for you.
Yes.
And I just don't know that that's at least demonstrated as often as it should be. I also know that you work too.
Yes.
You know, you work and you attend school.
Yes.
You know, and I'm sure that's a part of you know, your motivation and a part of who you are. So you know, tell me, you know, what's school like? I mean, what was school like? Is it very difficult now, considering that you didn't have as much of a foundation as you wanted to earlier?
It was hard. In the beginning, I was going to a counselor because you're supposed to have an advisor and they're supposed to tell you what not to do, what to not to do. My counselor wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. So in the beginning, it was very hard. You know, I wasn't doing good. I didn't have the correct advice and stuff. But I went on my own, got advice from other people, went online, spoke to other people, and my other past teachers from my high school and my elementary that has helped me and stuff like that. But it's hard, especially working and going and attending school. But like I said, when you want something, you just have to go for it.
Yeah.
You got to work on it.
Yeah. I just, you know, I'm glad that you consented, because not only will you talk about, you know, those things that you're experiencing and going through, hopefully you'll provide some inspiration to others as well.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I would like to be that voice. I never, you know, had a voice myself. So if I had a voice to voice out everyone, how everyone's feeling, but they can't admit to it or don't have the courage to come out and say or have anyone to hear, I would like to be that voice and to help people stop going into violence and to help people find a path, another way. There's many different ways and different ways to do things and how to do things to get to things in places.
Absolutely.
Not just a one way or a two way.
Right,
you know,
right.
There's many different ways.
Yeah, lots of options.
Yes.
Yeah, there's we used to say, I guess the saying is, there's lots of ways to skin a cat or something like that. You know, and you're absolutely right. You know, that's what this particular platform is all about. You know, this network is grassroots TV. You know, we hope that, you know, you and others who share the internet and have the iPhones will pass on these kinds of discussions and actually invite them to be a part of the discussions and the dialogue, and so we can really get to the heart of matters, and hopefully make sure that they know that those options are available.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're excited that this season you're going to join us, and
Yes.
I can't tell you how much it means to me. I know we've had a few conversations in passing, and I've always been delighted to to hear your perspective, and I'm sure others will as well. We have to stop right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
back.
we're gonna come right back, Nancy, and on the next show, and talk a little bit more about some specific things that have happened that maybe you have some opinion about, and we'll address those the next time on the challenge.
Perfect.
Until then, be blessed.
Yes.